Hello everyone, and welcome to our final match of Week 2 of the St. Louis VGC Draft League. There was a bit of scheduling complications with this one, unfortunately. Ben and Liam had to squeeze this match in, so this is a post-commentary recording, and there was no game audio taken, so let me just start the recording and get some background music. So Ben is one of our two players who their opponent dropped in week 1. That person who dropped did come back, but this is going to be our first time seeing Ben. Ben has a rain team with Pelipper, Archaludon, Mega Raichu X. We see Sableye, Mega Greninja, as well as the Qwilfish. Liam has a Sun team. Has the Mega Charizard Y, Hisuian Goodra, the Victory Bell, the Arbok, the Noivern, and the Basculegion Female. Very important, this female and not male. So we're seeing a Mega Raichu and Pelipper with Archaludon and Qwilfish in the back. That does mean it's vulnerable to rain being turned off immediately by Charizard, but the Raichu does outspeed and threatens big damage with a Volt Tackle or Electric choice. Raichu X being the less common of the two Raichu forms, but even with a lower special attack than Raichu Y, the Electric Terrain really lets it hit above what its special attack would suggest with Electric type moves. So we have seen what just a little bit. We see Noivern Victory Bell up against Mega Raichu and Archaludon, so I missaw. I thought it was Pelipper coming out. It was instead Archaludon. We see that rising voltage for big electric type damage and a Mega Evolution coming. Maybe? Perhaps? We could see a Mega Evolution Volt Switch into Pelipper and then an immediate high power Electro Shot. That would be a devastating 1-2 punch, but we could also, again, still being considered, it does look like Ben is hovering over that Electro Shot. It looks like we are going to see Fake Out. Now, Noivern picks the Fake Out and goes for a Protect on this turn that would let Victory Bell have free reign. Here comes the Mega Evolution. Here comes the only terrain setter currently in the metagame as far as automatic terrain setting. Hopefully Ben's terrain setting goes better than mine earlier in the week. Noivern does go for Protect, so that is an immediate a double Protect from Liam, allowing the Fake Out to ding. So Volt Switch goes into Noivern. Electro Shot charges, and as far as Liam is concerned, presumably goes into Noivern, but because there was no offensive pressure that turn, it's going to fire off next turn regardless, unless you are somehow able to put it to sleep. A potential Tailwind here could give the Victory Bell the speed edge it needs to try to shut down this Archaludon. We see a Rising Voltage. Rising Voltage is an interesting move. It gains double power if the target is grounded. So on top of the normal Electric Terrain boost the Raichu gets from standing on the ground, if it targets a grounded Pokemon, it will do ever more damage. So now, even though it's not the strongest, there's a Draco Meteor just trying to take out this Archaludon, presumably, but Noivern isn't the strongest Pokemon. Archaludon is going to eat that fairly well. Noivern gets wider, so we see that it's able to drop at least 2 Dracos before feeling it, but here's the Rising Voltage, and it's going to do alright damage. Again, not double in power because Noivern is in the air. There's a Leaf Storm into the Archaludon, probably predicting a switch on that turn from this Archaludon. I don't even know if Archaludon can switch if it is clicked. Electro Shot is in the middle of charging. Here it comes. This is going to do huge damage. Probably a KO, I have to imagine. Yes, +1 special attack Electro Shot on electric terrain is easily going to take out this Noivern. The Archaludon is just wasting right now. It's got +1 special attack, good amount of HP. Here comes the Charizard saying, I need to get a speed advantage. But we saw the Victory Bell outsped the Archaludon. And a Volt Switch from this Raichu could just immediately threaten Rain coming out. Here comes the Mega Evolution, trying to get the Sun up, trying to power up this Victory Bell. This Victory Bell's at half special attack. We'll see if it has any good offensive physical moves. Victory Bell can be run mixed. So there's Protect on the Archaludon, just stalling for leftovers recovery. And there's an Acid Spray into the Raichu, just a little bit of chip for this Charizard. But again, Raichu is faster, goes for a Volt Switch. Charizard bulky, able to live that, but then there's no reason to stay in with -2 special defense. And you have to imagine that the Pelipper is going to come out and just get rid of the Sun. And yeah, Choice Scarf Pelipper is going to be threatening massive damage into Liam's team. Again, Liam doesn't know it's Choice Scarf at the moment, but that will allow Hurricanes or Weather Balls just to threaten super effective damage. Continuing leftover recovery, moderate amount, over half, is this Archaludon, and we just see a double up, presumably, or just, it looks like we are going to see a Hurricane into the Victory Bell, followed by, I have to imagine, the Electroshock into the Charizard. I don't think, unless this Victory Bell is holding Sleep Powder, I don't think it threatens Archaludon, and with a Choice Scarf on the Pelipper, it's going to go faster than the Victory Bell. So Charizard switches, trying to preserve weather. Here comes the Arbok, predicting a physical attacker, and that would do good into the Raichu, presumably. But here comes the Hurricane. Is this a Focus Sash? We can't see it, but the icon isn't grayed out. It is Focus Sash, so it is going to get one more attack off. It's Acid Spray into this Pelipper, going to just lower special defense 2 stages. Here comes the Electroshot, getting immediately charged up. This is now +2 special attack. It's threatening massive damage. Here it comes, probably going to take out this Arbok. No Focus Sash for it. Instantly deleted. This Arbok, oh, critical hit for the road. Arbok just being sacrificed to get the weather back in Liam's favor. So in comes the Charizard, and we've only seen Heat Wave on it. We don't know if it has anything. Scorching Sands would be really useful here to help deal with this Archaludon, and this Victory Bell, I don't know. It can't go for Acid Spray into the Steel type Archaludon. This is just a really rough situation. Archaludon's just saying, hey, I can just keep stalling and let this Pelipper come back in later to power up my Electro Shots, make him one turn. Here comes the Qwilfish. Now, this is information for Liam. This is not Intimidate Qwilfish. This is Swift Swim. It is getting chipped, but this means there are 2 rain threats out on the field. Either can be swapped out. Heat Wave dings into the Archaludon, is going to do big damage into the Qwilfish with -2 special defense. That's effectively a neutral Heat Wave, and with the Swift Swim Qwilfish, similar to the Swift Swim Overflow we saw earlier in the week, they're built offensive. They're not built to take hits. They just want to output as much damage as possible. That's the last Heat Wave you're getting. Now the Pelipper's back, and we know it out, and Liam knows it outspeeds this Victory Bell. But at this point, I think it's all over. But the fat lady singing, the electric terrain is gone from that first turn. But I don't think Charizard can do anything. Victory Bell doesn't have the power behind it to do much of anything here either. Here comes the Weather Ball. So that is confirmed Choice Scarf for the Pelipper. No way it's outspeeding Charizard otherwise, unless these are some wild spreads. So Liam knows that going into the next game. There's an Acid Spray for the road. Again, lower the special to imagine this Victory Belt doesn't have anything like Sleep Powder for disruption. As a result, getting one more kill for this Archaludon, the Electro Shot into the Victory Belt, smartly preserving what coverage options it has, not revealing the fighting or dragon or steel coverage that it may have. And so, yeah, really good game one. Let me just update the score here. And Liam's going to have to consider how he wants to adjust in this next game. I would like to see no ground types that makes dealing with the Electro Shot spam more difficult. I would like to see maybe the Goodra come out. I think it would do very well into the team that Ben brought in general, resisting a lot of what Rain wants to do. There's not a ton of physical attackers on Ben's side. We saw that the Raichu had Volt Switch and Rising Voltage, so maybe you don't need Arbok in order to combat this. The Noivern, again, it went for Draco Meteor, didn't go for Tailwind. It wasn't a huge deal in the end, but if you do bring that Goodra, I do want to see it. Go for that Tailwind to allow some speed control. But Ben is really considering, okay, I brought a very strong squad of 4 that was able to pretty easily handle what my opponent had. Do I bring the same things? It looks like yes, but we do have the Sableye and the Mega Greninja in the back just looming menacingly. Honestly, I wouldn't be surprised to see the Raichu, Pelipper, and Archaludon come to every game Ben has. The primary rating of users on the squad, really threatening as seen in that game number 1. Really able to just win on their own and just use the Qwilfish as death fodder. And we see Noivern Charizard come out immediately, going for the offense. Here is the Raichu and the Archaludon. So, again, the Raichu does have that fake out pressure, but with that fake out pressure, saying, okay, if you go for this, then if you go for double protect, I can just get a free charge up. I don't need the rain, which is very, very threatening. So, do you risk letting one of your Pokemon be faked out in order to get a move off? And if so, will you make the right call on what you do here? Liam really has a big decision to make, but Ben also having to consider, do I just go for an attack? Do I go for a Volt Switch again? And this time we're just going to see no risk of a double up onto this Archaludon. We're just going to see an immediate Mega Evolution from this Raichu, saying, hey, I'm just going to get this Electric Terrain up and then try to switch into Rain, because I think we're going to Mega Evolve right now, and Liam does Mega Evolve, going straight for the Sun mode, and we'll have to see if that helps in this situation. We see the Protect. Now, that is the slowest Pokemon on the field. That means no Protects happened. Noivern goes for Sunny Day, expecting a manual switch, but instead we see Volt Switch into the Charizard. That's not going to take it out, but the speed interaction's hurting Liam here. If that had gone after the Raichu, that would have been massive. But now there's no risk in Pelipper just coming out and setting up the rain. Yes, the Noivern can reset up the Sun on the next turn, so that I guess that's something to consider. But we know the Noivern is going to be faster than this we know the Pelipper's faster than the Noivern due to the Choice Scarf. Heat Wave comes out. It's not going to do much in this Pelipper, though. Resisted and with the rain. Does a little bit of chip, maybe about 20%. And interesting, no ice move, but we do see a Tailwind that could allow for an incredibly powerful Electro Shot to go before the Noivern, depending on how this Archaludon is trained, how the Noivern is trained. Again, we could also see just a Weather Ball into the Charizard slot, try to take it out, try to do big damage into whatever comes out next. We do see that Tailwind locked in, and you have to imagine, here comes the Electro Shot, trying to just take advantage of the electro terrain. Going into the Charizard, no protects. Scarf Tailwind is very threatening. Here comes the Electro Shot, and the Charizard's going down. There's no way at about 37-ish% it's going to stay up to a +1 electric terrain boosted Electro Shot. And yeah, there it goes. The Charizard is down. We'll see what this Noivern went for. Went for Sunny Day, manually resetting the sun. Limiting both Pokemon on Ben's side of the field. We'll see if Liam can take advantage of the downturns that he has at the moment. Ben needing to switch out the Pelipper, can't do anything, but he doesn't really have anything that loves switching into a Leaf Storm. Raichu is not bulky, and we saw that this that the Heat Wave at -2 special defense was basically able to one-hit KO the Qwilfish. So here comes that Qwilfish. Again, no Intimidate, going for the Swift Swim. There's a Leaf Storm into that slot, doing big damage into that Pokemon. But again, now you're at -2 special attack. That's dangerous. Flash Cannon at +1 does over half to Noivern. Here comes a Draco Meteor, double up. And that's fantastic. You take out one of Ben's Pokemon, but you just let the rain come back out for free. The Pelipper comes back out. Now it's facing a -2 special attack on the Victory Bell and a half health Noivern. So now there's no threat. You can just click Hurricane and another Flash Cannon or an Electro Shot and just say, hey, I've got Tailwind, and until that Tailwind is gone, you can't do anything. Noivern switches out. What do you have in the back? It's Arbok again. And again, I'm not sure if that's the play. Are you really that scared of physical attacks from Ben at this point? You haven't really seen any so far. There's the Focus Sash. And from last game, that confusion's not bueno. There's the Electro Shot. That's going straight into the Arbok. And that will surely one-hit KO, same as last game. I can't imagine that being a roll that's possible for Arbok to survive this. And yeah, just... wow, the invisible Focus Sash. It was a roll, but the Victory Bell hits itself in confusion and just goes down itself. Oh no, that's absolutely brutal for Liam. But at this point, I believe there's still one more turn of Tailwind. And yes, you can go for double protect. But I don't know if that's going to do much for you at this point. And yeah, Liam's just going to forfeit. The battle's going to end 2-0 in Ben's favor. And I just have to say, congratulations to Ben, showing that he drafted very well and making a strong case for why he deserves to be 2-0 right now, even despite having effectively a bye in week 1. Liam, good games from him, going 1-1 there. And let's just stop this recording. And yeah, I want to see what these guys are doing in future weeks, but really good game plan by Ben, and showing that his Rain core is incredibly threatening. Manually getting rid of the sun, you need to get rid of the sun and the terrain, it feels like, in order to have a chance against this Archaludon, or just have the high power offense to deal with it. And it didn't look like Liam had that in the 6 he brought, unfortunately. So yeah, that will do it for week 2. I know Southside Braves is currently working on a week 2 wrap-up and view into week 3, so keep an eye out for that on his channel. You can see a link in the description to his week 2 preview and week 1 roundup, so go there, check out his channel. In the next day or so, you should see a new video from him. So thank you all for watching, and we'll see you in week 3. Goodbye.